A stale breeze played through the dead man's hair, an unwanted breeze, a breeze filled with malaise. The old man was slumped across the open cavity of an accounting ledger, his face squashed between the pages of the thick accounting book. The body looked remarkably like a piece of trash carelessly tossed onto an old kitchen table, or maybe like a discarded, broken doll, long forgotten by the one who had once loved it. As I bent down for a closer inspection, I could see a clearly defined hole in the back of the old man's hairless cranium. There was remarkably little blood. What little blood had seeped out had created a tiny rivulet down the man's neck and formed a dark puddle about the size of a man's palm on the brown pages of the accounting book. The blood was not fresh. Inspecting the wound, I got the impression of precision, a surgeon's frugality of effort, or a craftsman's sure touch in a grisly occupation. Standing up and frowning, another impression occurred to me. Premeditation, coldly calculated and flawlessly executed. And who said a murder had to be messy? The dead man's arms were pushed across the table on either side of the oversized open book. Between the fingers of the corpse's right hand was the butt of a cigarette, with ash about 2 inches long still clinging precariously to the filter. In front of the ledger was an ashtray, almost overflowing with the discarded flotsam usually associated with a heavy smoker. There was a distinct blue haze of cigarette smoke hanging in midair above the corpse's head, and the room smelled of old tobacco and sweat. Added to the mixture was the sweet aroma of automotive body putty. Above the dead man's head was a single light fixture swinging slightly in the breeze, creating a surreal film noir touch to the crime scene. The fixture hung from the ceiling on a long and frayed electrical wire. As it swung in a rhythmic pendulum motion, the oscillating light created oddly contorted shadows that danced a frenetic but silent mime across the walls and floor, like some madman's macabre nightmare. It wasn't much of an office. In the middle of the room was an old kitchen table, 3 office chairs, and the dead man. To one side was a dilapidated old sofa, so threadbare I could see the springs were about to pop out and give the next person who sat down on it an intimate surprise. In one corner was a set of 3 6-drawer filing cabinets. The floor was old green tiles, worn through to the bare wood in front of the single door, which opened toward the steep stairs. The stairs led down from the office to the main garage floor below, a garage which, for me, held paradise. Below, in the dim half-light of a cavern, the cement floor was filled with classic cars from about 6 different decades and a dozen different countries. It was the cold steel setting on the garage floor that kept singing alluring charms to me. I wanted to forget about the body. Bodies, in my line of occupation, I see almost on a daily basis. But the sensual curving lines of a black 29 SSK Mercedes in the far corner of the shop and the seemingly plain-looking dark red 40 Ford 2-door coupe captured my full attention. In the middle of the floor was a 52 Buick convertible with its top down, painted pale blue with brand-new white vinyl interior. The Buick's huge chrome grille gleamed in a lustful display of American excess. The paint was so fresh, and the white interior so new, I would have sworn it had just rolled off the assembly line. I was like some buck-toothed, pimply-faced kid with a pocket full of money, standing in a Buick dealer's showroom and aching to buy my first new car. Sitting next to the Buick was a '64 Chevrolet Corvette coupe stripped down to the bare plastic body and sitting on 4 rather solid-looking floor jacks. The doors were off, the windows were out, and it was devoid of an interior. Some artisan was carefully patching the nicks and scratches on the vet's plastic body with the delicate touch of a brain surgeon.